Welcome to John Esser Sports Channel, where we're doing a quick review of the games on Saturday in League One. Now, let's just look at my list of predictions. In week one, let's just say I did extremely well. I got 6 correct results and 1 correct result, and just it happens on Saturday I got 6 correct results and 1 correct score. So I've done extremely well. I think I've only got the wrong way around on 6 of the 12 occasions, which is pretty good, I think, for me. So let's go into review each game for a couple of minutes each and see how each of these results actually came about, shall we? Let's start with the Luton 0, Cardiff 1. What did we say? Well, we said 1-1, but hey, we did get it was going to be a low scoring game, and most of you thought the same as well. Didn't actually get anybody saying 1-0 to Cardiff. Most of them were saying 1-0. We're saying 1-0 to Luton. Luton Town, I mean, this was basically a game of two goalkeepers, wasn't it? Trot on, basically. Cardiff, wow, what a goalkeeper. What a stopper. You have to feel a little bit sorry, don't you, for Luton Town fans? That was just so amazing. 23 shots from Luton Town. And most of the time, it was that man Trot that managed to stop any blushes. And 16 shots from Cardiff, but you know, at the end of the day, it went in the net once for them. Was a handball, I think, just before it. There was a handball outside the box just before. I'd see what you think. Comment and like and subscribe. Comment down below. Luton Town fans, don't you think there was a handball, an obvious one, directly before, and his hand was not in a natural position? It was like this to stop it getting past him. So Luton Town actually handballed it outside the box. It would have been a dangerous free kick, but it wouldn't have gone in the net. So not in the way it did. So it would have given you at least a chance of keeping it out. So that's my take on that one. And that's the lob. The lob was just sublime, wasn't it? How perfectly timed that was. And once again, the Luton Town keeper this time keeping Luton's net free on that occasion. So great game. Absolutely enjoyed it. I did think it was going to be low scoring, and it was. Thank you very much to the Luton and Cardiff squads there. Brilliant game. Then we go on to Rotherham versus Wigan. What did we say? We said 2-1 to Rotherham because of our new guy that we got, Martin Sherif. And Martin actually scored on 80 minutes and put us in the lead. And I really did think we'd do it until Paul Mullin, that great big husky bloke, managed to pop it in the net to equalise on 88 minutes. It was 2-2. What did we say? So we said 2-1 to Rotherham. So we didn't get anything there. However, this was a good game. It was certainly a good game for the Rotherham fans. It was an improvement. This was something that we wanted, a fighting performance. And even if we did put it in our own net at the beginning, which was just so unlucky, I don't know. I can't say anything about the own goal. Could he have done differently? Probably. I think he was just out of position, as well as coming in fast to try and cover the back quickly. Probably too quick. So we drew. Good game. Didn't get the score right. Look, this was a pretty even game. There's nothing else you can say. This was a good League One game of football. Entertaining from end to end. 12 shots to Rotherham, 13 shots to Wigan, 5 on target each, 2 goals each. It was just one of those games. Great, I'd say top half League One performance there, and certainly as a Rotherham fan, we're looking forward to more from that from the Rotherham side, Matty. Hopefully we'll get it as well. So we'll go on to the next game then. So Wimbledon 2, Barnsley 0. We certainly didn't say that, did we? We said the opposite way around. But Barnsley played really well here. They did actually have a lot of the play, 60% of the play, in fact. 16 shots each, 5 on target to Wimbledon, 3 on target to Barnsley. Barnsley even hit the woodwork. There was a couple of acrobatic efforts from Barnsley, but they were never really going to get anywhere near, not from those particular acrobatic attempts. The first goal was just what was the Barnsley defence thinking? There were 4 defenders around the guy that was on the floor from Wimbledon, and there was the goalkeeper standing over the guy who was on the floor from Wimbledon, and the guy managed to get somehow the ball came away from that group to just a yard or 2 away from them, and he had free shot into the net. Where was the defence? Absolutely nowhere. This is a team, remember, Wimbledon, who found it difficult to put it in the net, but they found it really easy to defend. I will say that defence wasn't as far back in this game. I thought they might park the bus, but I remember saying in the review, in the predictions video, that I don't think they will, and they didn't. They actually played quite high up the pitch at home, playing high up the pitch, and it worked. You know, they just caught that. They caught the Barnsley defence sleeping. Second goal, he did what we call skin a rabbit on the Barnsley defender, who was looking one way, and he just went straight past him, and the guy was still standing there. Straight one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Brilliant finish. Straight into the corner. And I thought that was a really good performance by Wimbledon, and they're certainly showing that that they can and probably will bid. 3 wins so far, 10th position. They're making people who did all their predictions like me look a little bit daft. So or silly if you want to be Southern. So yeah, it's quite an interesting game, that one. Totally the opposite way, and I think realistically for me, it was a case of the Barnsley defence. So we didn't get anything from that one. We'll quickly move on. So Bolton Wanderers 1, Lincoln City 1. We said 2-2. It was actually 1-1, so we will get a correct result, even if it wasn't a correct scoreline. And just look at this. There's one word that describes this, Bolton and Lincoln fans. How? 18 shots to Bolton Wanderers out of their 74% possession. 5 from 26% for Lincoln City. I mean, it really did look like that in the replay afterwards. I had just astonished how Bolton didn't win it. The acrobatics of Lincoln City's goalkeeper. You really do have to think that George Wickens there was just absolutely phenomenal. You can't get over the fact that they really did battle out every single set. Some of those shots as well that were being saved were absolutely brilliant save. You know, this Bolton side at home can absolutely rock that stadium and can get loads of shots in. They did. I would say this, whether it was just the recording equipment or not, but I didn't quite get that buzz from the stadium that I usually get, because Bolton Stadium is usually so noisy. It really is deafening through the when you're watching the replays. But it just didn't seem quite as atmospheric as it was when I last listened to a game there. Do comment down below. Did you think it was just a shade under what it usually is? Because I think it may have been the recording from Sky, to be honest. But I'd be interested to hear what the Bolton fans think. Yeah, so we did get the right result. We didn't get the right score. Great game. Bolton will be bitterly disappointed here, but the Lincoln fans will have gone home thinking, how on earth did we manage to get a draw there? And we'll move on to the next game. So the next one is Huddersfield Stevenage. Now, Huddersfield doing really well. Stevenage, well, actually playing a lot better than what I thought they would do, and all of you thought they were going to do well, and they are doing. They are playing really quite good. However, the two teams together, who was going to come on top? I reckon 2-1 to Huddersfield. I thought Stevenage have the ability to score. Certainly do. 1-0 it was in the end to Huddersfield. And to be honest, another one of those games where Huddersfield just seemed to keep the ball and just try and push forward and then come back. Push forward, come back. 61% possession and 12 shots to Huddersfield, 6 on target. 11 shots to Stevenage, 4 on target. Probably right. Well, actually, I think that the Huddersfield strike force will be thinking, how on earth did we only score 1? They were really clinical, really good, and I found some of those shots were really strong, really nice and precise. They were clear where they were. It was clear where they were shooting to, and the ball was certainly going in the right direction. So a couple of really good stops by the Stevenage keeper. However, a lot of those Stevenage shots were just a little bit lame to me. No power in them. If there was direction, it was just sort of looping or curving or quite easy to save. And I just didn't see the energy, the desire behind those Stevenage shots that we've had so far this season. Although it's a short season. 1-0 then. I think that was about fair. I think it was fair. I think that Huddersfield perhaps will be kicking themselves. They didn't quite get one extra. To me, probably 2-0 would have been a fairer score than 1-0. But I think overall, Huddersfield will be happy that they did the job. So that was Huddersfield. Next we'll go to Mansfield versus Leyton Orient. And Mansfield 4, Leyton Orient 10-man Leyton Orient 1. Now we have a man on the scene, so we have Roy, our resident Mansfield fan. And was it a 4-1 game indeed? Well, Roy says not. Roy says that they deserved a win here. 4-1 was a little bit flattering, I think. Looking at it, so the 4 shots, brilliant. The 4 goals, excellent. I do agree that that Leyton Orient were a little bit unlucky here. The referee was a little... He just got a few incorrect decisions, I think. Talking about that, the Rotherham referee, I'm not going to mention him because it was absolutely appalling all the way through. But at least he was appalling for both sides. This ref just seemed to be appalling against the Leyton Orient fan or the Leyton Orient side. That sending off, let's face it, he did get him. He did catch him. Normally that would be a telling off. Why? Because look at the guy. Look at the Mansfield guy. He clipped his ankle. He's clipped his foot with the looks of it. He's grabbing his leg and then he goes into a full roly-poly on the ground. And I tried to count it. It's about 6 or 7 times he rolls over. How on earth do you roll over so many times when somebody's just tapped your foot? Really? Come on. That was never a red card. Never a second yellow in a million years. That was absolutely appalling, referee. That was never... should never be allowed that. You should be giving a yellow card to the Mansfield player that was rolling on the floor. That would have been fairer. This game was really quite straightforward in the end. Although Leyton Orient did seemingly have a little bit more of the play, but only just. They didn't do anything with it. 18 shots to Mansfield, just 8 for Leyton Orient. And 5 shots on target for Mansfield and 4 in the net. Just incredible, isn't it? And Leyton Orient didn't do that bad. 3 shots on target, 1 in the net. And I think that the Leyton Orient fans will be going home thinking, where did they dig that referee from? Whilst the Mansfield fans certainly were apparently going home thinking, well, we won it, and I don't know how it managed to be 4-1, but yeah, they all seem to be thinking pretty much the same as Roy. Yeah, good win. Perhaps a little bit flattering, but the right result? Yeah, I think the right result. What did we say? We said 2-1 to Mansfield, and it was 4-1. We get the correct score, the correct result, sorry, but not the correct score. And we can move on from that one. So Northampton 2, Exeter 1. I think Exeter played better in the second half for me, and they'll feel themselves a little bit aggrieved they didn't at least get one in the net. They only had one on target from their 64% possession. It didn't really seem like 64. This is one of the games where I think the stats really don't add up to anything. Northampton, for me, really did control the game really well. They had some good shots. They laid off 10 shots, 3 on target, 2 in the net. They were good money for their win. Exeter are just not quite doing anything with the ball when they had it. Yeah, they had a few shots, but in the second half that got better, and I did think that they controlled the game a little bit better in the second half. They'll feel aggrieved they didn't have more shots and at least get one in the net in that second half. 2-0 to Northampton. What did we say? We said 1-1 because Exeter have been playing quite good football, and Northampton have been relatively impressing us quite a bit. So I thought both of these teams have been improving and been showing how well they can play in this division. And I was thinking a 1-1. So we didn't get a correct score, didn't get a correct result. I think we certainly need to go on to the Peterborough-Bradford game. That'll be a bit more easy to get right, won't it? Please? Apparently not. No, apparently not. In the end, it was quite an even game for me. Peterborough did do a lot more with the ball, but not really endangering that back line of Bradford, which did indeed do what I said. It kept coming back in the batches of a nice 4 line back with there was at least 5 people in that. There were sometimes 6 coming back. Very early on, as soon as that Peterborough got the ball, you saw the line just come steadily back. Most of the time, in fact, nearly all the time that Peterborough got into that final third, by the time they got it in the box was full of Bradford players. So it did work in that what they wanted to do did actually get done for Bradford. It wasn't quite the same up front, was it? That was a really lucky goal, but I tell you what, it was very, very well taken by Will Swan. Absolutely perfectly taken. Peterborough, well, that was a really good strike, wasn't it? From inside a very, very full box. Peterborough's shots up to that point are sort of meh, not really. They wouldn't stretch any goalkeeper who's of a team that's going to finish in the top 6, put it that way. But that particular one shot was very well taken, indeed. So we actually said Peterborough 0, Bradford 4. Played a bit of a joker there, didn't we? We looked like a joker at the end, didn't we? Peterborough 1, Bradford 1. We don't get anything at all for that. I think we'd better hurry on to the Plymouth-Blackpool game. So Plymouth 1, Blackpool 0. Yeah, we really did. I saw a lot of people here putting high scoring because we know that Plymouth can shoot plenty of times in their games. They're just not getting the results from it. And we certainly know Blackpool can shoot and get it in the net. Unfortunately, we also know that Plymouth's back end can be a little bit loose at times. Take that whichever way you want. And the Blackpool defence could also be a little bit open at times. Blackpool's defence was a little bit weak. all the way from the kickoff, you could see that the back line just disintegrated when Plymouth turned the ball round and started attacking them. For me, that back was just a little bit too shaky. Not the Blackpool we saw last season. Absolutely not. And certainly not in defence. In attack, yeah, very, very good. I think that they didn't quite get the shot quality this time, although there were some really good shots from Blackpool, I must admit. And they do have to thank the Plymouth players do have to thank the Plymouth goalie there for saving the blushes on a couple of occasions. However, it was Plymouth that managed to break the deadlock on 48 minutes. Obviously, having the net it in the net more than that, but it being disallowed. I think that this game really, I think Plymouth fans will go away thinking, should have been 2 or 3 at least, shouldn't it? And that defence was still showing it was rocky at the back of Blackpool. So I'm happy that the right team won. I'm sure that the Blackpool players and fans will be going home kicking themselves thinking, just got to get that back line playing together a little bit better. They just seem to be at 6s and 7s at the back. I mean, 14 shots, 3 on target for Plymouth, and 9 shots, 2 on target for Blackpool. It just shows you that only 5 shots on target in the entire game. Plymouth just happened to be the one to get it in the net. So, what did we say again? We said Plymouth 2, Blackpool 1. It was actually Plymouth 1, Blackpool 0. We got the right result, if not the right score. So that was a good one for us. That's another correct result on our chalkboard. And we move on. Yeah, Doncaster away at Port Vale. Port Vale 0, Doncaster 1. Doncaster starting really well, showing them that they were going to shoot on sight. And they ended well with the goal on 54, and after that, sort of just kept themselves ahead and kept themselves doing what they had to do to stay ahead of Port Vale. In the middle, though, mainly sort of like that first half stroke up to the beginning of the second half, probably Port Vale actually played extremely well. In fact, this was probably the opposite game to the Rotherham United defeat, because in here they played really well at the first half, really, really well, and then again they do a second half, they do another half-to-half change, which meant in this game, instead of Rotherham where they played really poor in the first half, brilliant in the second half, they played really, really well in the first half and just seemed to lose the way in the second half. 13 shots to Port Vale, 3 on target, none in the net. 6 shots to Doncaster, 1 on target, 1 in the net. Doncaster, for their part in this game, I don't think they didn't really show any brilliance. There was no superb passing. It was just, for me, a sort of bottom half League One passing display. Technically, not that brilliant. One to sort of miss, really. I didn't enjoy it. Did you enjoy it? Please do like and subscribe. Give your comments down below. I'm sure Doncaster fans enjoyed it, coming away with a 1-0 win. They were probably thinking after the first half that this was going to be a lot harder than what they thought it was going to be. Everybody, look, I remember the scores. I've got them written down here. 3-3, 2-3, 1-1, 2-2. We went with 1-3 to Donny, so 3-1 to Donny, and it was actually only 1-0. So every man in his job, well, apart from one person, everybody else is thinking there's lots of goals in this game. How wrong we were. But we got the right result, even if we didn't get the right score. And that's another feather in his cap, so we can move on happy, can't we? Certainly can. Next game, please. Stockport County 2, Burton 1. Stockport, Brad Hill sent off on 31 minutes. I'm not sure about that one. I really am not sure about that. Look, I know why he got sent off, but you always get a little bit of argy-bargy in the defence, don't you? Really, I mean, he's gonna be trying to push him out the way. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't. It wasn't malicious. It was just trying to err him, to put pressure on him, keep him from being able to get a clear shot without thinking about him being right next to him. Do tell me what your thoughts were on it. Absolutely, yes, Stockport fans, but and Burton fans, because that to me was probably it was probably the turning point, but for the wrong well, for the opposite reason to what you think. That after that, it seemed to me that that Burton seemed to just go at this thinking, oh, we've got an extra man. You know, we're going to keep playing the same thing, but it's going to be easier to play. And Stockport went completely the opposite. They decided to tighten up and change their formation just enough to be able to do actually a better job without him, which was really, really odd. You have to look at the shots on target at goal here. Stockport County, I mean, they're about the same on possession. You can't really use possession stats in this game. 14 shots by Stockport, only 5 off target, 5 on target, and the rest were blocked. Burton Albion, 20 shots at target, only 3 on target, 12 of them off target. Now, that is a little bit like the whole game was. It was a case of Burton being able to shoot on sight. Just if we see it, shoot at it. The defences were both about even. I don't think I could really pick any fault with either of them. That Stockport County second goal, for instance, it was burst down the burst of speed was absolutely amazing, wasn't it? What a burst of speed he's got down that wing, and to be able to pop it in from that far out was absolutely brilliant. So the goals, yeah, really good. I enjoyed the game overall. I think that red card to me just spoiled it a little bit. Burton Albion fans will be thinking that they should really have done better after they went ahead, and I think they should have done, and they could have done, but they just weren't quite clinical enough for me, and they seem to be shooting at somewhere over there a little bit too often, rather than that's the goal, let's get it on target at least. I prefer a team not to shoot as often and to make sure you get it on target. At least then it can go in the net. The Seagulls not going to make any difference, is it? So that you take down in the meantime. So Stockport 2, Burton 1. What did we say? We said Stockport 3, Burton 1. We weren't actually too far away. Stockport have actually been playing some really good football indeed. In fact, they're 5th now with 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat on 10 points, and they're doing really, really well. It does mean, of course, if we just have a quick look at Burton. Burton are in 16th with 4 points. Won 1, drawn 1, lost 2. I don't think they're going to be really too disappointed with their start. I think actually they've started a lot better than what people thought. Hopefully the fans won't think this one has been a bad experience, just a one more learning experience for this particular season. And I think that they have been doing so well up to now. It'd be a shame to be on a downer from losing here. And I think that Stockport, probably did deserve it. We'll go on to the last game, which is Wycombe Wanderers versus Reading. So what happened here? Wycombe 2, Reading 2. And like we said, and like everybody out there, including yourselves watching this, said, this was a game where they both had 1 point. They had to kick-start their season today, and they had to try. They certainly were going to try, and we all knew they were going to try. Lewis Wing, for me, had to have another goal under his belt. However, what goal? What did we say? A lot of you saying 2-0, 1-1, 0-1, 2-3. You know, no idea where this was going to go. I actually decided in the end to say 2-0. Thinking about Lewis Wing, thinking it could be 2-1. And I thought that Wycombe, being at home, would have the advantage here, and they would have the crowd behind them. They did, and it was really a game very, very even in the end. Absolutely, it probably was the right result, 2-2. But the goals, you have to. Lewis Wing, that was a typical Lewis Wing goal, wasn't it? Absolutely cracking. Nobody in a million years is going to stop that one. The first goal from Kamara, nobody's going to stop that one. You know, two really, really good goals, absolute class. And I thought the Reading goals just showed exactly what that side can do. But at the other end, they let in a couple of poacher goals, I'd call them. You know, perhaps they could have done better. Perhaps they could have watched where the ball was instead of standing like lemons on one or two occasions. Does show where they've got to improve. Reading need to improve at the back. They did stand around a little still when Wycombe got into the box a little bit too often for me, and allowed Wycombe to get those two poacher goals, and it became 2-2. But that's the way that Wycombe have been getting their goals. Then fair be it. We know that Reading's Lewis Wing's being this isn't his first cracking goal of the season. I think we're going to see more of him. This Reading side, I didn't think that they'd turn it around on Saturday. They actually produced a better performance than what I thought they would. But then so did Wycombe, and I thought Wycombe's were very strong as well. It was two different styles of play here. But in the end, the two styles of play and the technical abilities of both players, especially some midfield and front end, were probably rightly cancelling each other out. 54% for Wycombe Wanderers. You can probably take that as a good judgment here for once. 14 shots for Wycombe, 16 for Reading. 6 shots on target for Wycombe, 6 shots on target for Reading. 2-2. Realistically, I think both fans will come away thinking we should have done. We got a really good percentage on target out of the ones that we shot. We really should have won this one. But both teams and both fans will be thinking we should have won this one. But from a neutral point of view, I think it was the right result. So that ends that one. We said 2-0. It was 2-2. So we don't get anything there. But we, on the whole, how many did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 results correct. 1 score spot on. And I think that to me was a really good day for our predictions, and hopefully we'll see more of them. Please do like and subscribe. Please watch the videos and the predictions I'll be pulling out soon. And it's John S.'s Sports Channel over for one more review. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe.